Well, good afternoon to everybody. We're back in VP4 online. We're also back for another match in the World Series of 9-ball tournament, and it's a third round match, race to 18, due to start in about 3 minutes' time, probably less than that. Acero has just arrived, Acero from Japan, and Bedhead arrived a few minutes ago. And now we should expect a pretty good match here and a pretty good standard from both players. Bit of quality in this match, and of course you know the rules now. It's 9-ball, race to 18. It's alternate break, no jump cues, and that's all there is. Now we've just got a minute or so to work with here. There has been a result today. I don't know if there's been any other ones. There might have been two. There's a result between Popman and LS3. I don't know when that took place. But LS3 has overpowered Popman by 15 racks to 7. That's well done to her. And Larry comfortably has beaten Apollo. I was wondering whether that match would go ahead, but Larry won it comfortably, 15 racks to 3. Good afternoon to Hazad. We've got a problem here, folks, with the matches later on, because we have a match in a one-loss side. The problem being, I don't know what match to stream, because we have there's a match at 4 o'clock. I won't be here for that one, but there's the match between Semi Pro and Smoking Sid at 6 o'clock tonight. I was going to start with that match, then move over to the winner's side, but the problem with the winner's side is at 7 PM tonight we've got two matches clashing. We've got Mal against Snake Eyes in a round 3 match, and further down we have the match between I think it's Mooncake. It's a round 3 match, Mooncake and Spectre Dawn. So the dilemma there is what match to follow. Both of them starting at the same time. That's provided all players turn up, obviously, but I may well have to just jump in and occasionally look at one and the other, depending how many viewers I've got. Was it 8 last night? No, at 8 o'clock last night. What was I doing at 8 o'clock last night? Apart from preparing for bed. No, I must have been watching something. I can't remember what I was doing, but certainly... no, wait a minute. I was watching the football. That's what I was watching. The Celtic game was on. I was watching them getting their arse handed to them last night. That's why I wasn't here. Good afternoon to Albie. Yeah, what I was saying is, let's have a look at the clock. The room should be up in front of me. Well, I've started with me talking away there. Oh, here we go. We're going for the lag. Well, one of the cues hasn't appeared yet, so no doubt that'll appear in a second or two, or Acero's having problems if it's Acero. It's a pretty good lag. It looks fairly even. It was given to Bedhead. Yeah, what I was saying is depending how many viewers I have tonight, it depends on whether we have or what choice we have in terms of what match to watch. I'll leave that up to you guys, and if I can't get a decision off you guys, I'll just jump into one of them myself and see what happens. But anyway, well, Tornado Tam's got his VP4 working. I notice he's back online. He was having problems the other day. So we do expect a pretty good standard in this match. In fact, it should be pretty good in all the matches today, probably apart from the one at 4 o'clock. With the greatest respect to those guys, they're not going to be contending or contenders to win the tournament, but certainly these guys are. And this is This is just the problem ball here, this 4 ball, because he's going to have to nursemaid this in to hold the pace off the cue ball here, just so he can stay on this 6 ball, or go up and down the table would be the safest route. The only danger again, he could end up hooking himself behind the 9, but that looks good to me. Or does it? Is it going to get there? And he's hooked himself behind the 9. Commentator's eyes done it again. And I've jinxed Bedhead. Well, I did mention that it's the only thing that could happen, and that's what has happened. So, well, not a difficult shot to kick and a good chance of it going in. Well played, and how's that for luck? Oh dear, that is awful. I mean, he's not going to be kicking this one. Just as he gets himself out of trouble, he's got himself back in trouble. And if he hits this thin in the inside, he could scratch in the top corner pocket here. Well, I would settle for that. I wouldn't argue. Bedhead will be quite happy to see the 7 ball end up there. And now Acero's got a problem as to how he leaves this safe. He's trying to get down by the 8 ball here, I think. Nice and thin, but got to get the distance. Well, not a bad effort. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard. Now, I set something up on YouTube there when I was setting up this stream. I've now restricted YouTube chat just to subscribers, and if anybody's watching, you've got a 20-minute wait to watch the stream before you can actually chat. That's the only thing I changed. Most people watching Twitch anyway. So the attempted bank didn't work, and Acero should be off the mark in this first rack. So Bedhead got a bit of bad luck there, and of course that's gone against the break, which is what you don't want to do in the first rack. And Acero follows the first rack up with a ball in the break and half a shot in the 1. Not easy at all. In fact, I think he was hooked on the, well, he was more or less hooked on the 2 ball there anyway. He checked the cue ball up. Good afternoon, Bill, or good morning. So Bedhead now has a chance to respond, and with all the balls like this, you know what I'm going to say, there's no excuse. The only one to worry about is the 7 ball, because it's fairly close to the rail, and you've still got to get on the 8 ball after it, and the 8 ball's right smack bang in the middle of the table. Everything looks easy, but we all know how pear-shaped things can go. Now he's got to make sure he just stuns. Well, I think he's maybe a bit straight in this. He's just going to draw back. Yeah. Now this is the one. He has to either just run it in and let the cue ball run so it comes out, rather than trying to do too much with the cue ball. And the problem with that is he's now the wrong side of the 8. Just slightly. So now he's got to work the cue ball a bit more, so he's got a shot in this 9. And it needs to be careful, and that will do nicely. Well done. So that's 2 racks against the head, 1 rack all. And Bedhead going for the, well, the extremities of the kitchen. It worked that time, but the 1 ball has gone safe. Well, there's no advantage really in trying to do something miraculous with the 1 ball. The 2 ball has gone down in the break, but we've got 2 balls stuck to the side rail, which aren't very helpful. So I think that's the 8 ball that's in the rail with the 6 ball, so there's nothing doing there. He's much better trying to find cover here one way or another. Or he's made his mind up, he's going all out. Well, it's a tough 3 ball for starters. Well, I think he's got lucky there. I wouldn't even have been bothering to pot the 1. And he's going to find himself, he could be in trouble here if Acero gets this thin enough. He can still use the 7 as a cover ball and try and get down towards the 6. Well, I think Bedhead could do the same here to Acero this time. Big area to get the cue ball into, as long as he can just tuck that 3 ball towards the 5. Not too thick, and that is pretty good, but he's not got the weight really in the cue ball. He wanted to get right down in the corner, and it's not a difficult ball to hit. And thing is, if he can hit this full in the face and punch it off the 2 rails, could push it up the table and try and hide the cue ball, and that's worked out nicely. Good hit from Bedhead. And a good end result. Now, is there enough of the 3 ball showing? Not really. There's nothing to be done there. It's the old hit and hope. Well, now the 3 ball, where it is, Bedhead can just skim the 3 ball. He needs to watch the middle pocket here. He's just going to try and brush it to the rail. Yeah, because I haven't changed. I was in that much of a rush. I only just got home. I wouldn't worry about it because anything on Twitch won't be there long enough anyway. It'll disappear. It won't be held in any archive. It only gets held for 14 days and then it gets deleted anyway. So I archive everything on YouTube only. Twitch is merely a convenience for people to watch it, but I didn't get time to change everything on Twitch. I was in too much of a rush getting home from work. So Acero is, well, he's got the problem here. It's very thin in the 4. And I don't think he's got the running in it. But he's going to, or at least he should have, Bedhead in trouble here. I mean, it's a perfect opportunity to lock this cue ball up. Oh, that little brush in the 9 has done him a favour. Because that 5 ball may well have just gone into the gap there. It's just brushed the 9. And Bedhead, well, I would give this a proper good slam because you never know what can happen here with this 5 and 9. Look at the 9. Look at the 9. Oh! Well, that was close. Good afternoon to Slim. Well, this 6 and 8 ball have been there since the beginning of the rack. Now, obviously, it's not difficult to get to the 6. the problem is going to be getting from the 6 to the 7. And the shot that Bedhead's got just now is going to have to be a good one, because this 9 ball's trying to get in the line. Now hopefully he's had a good look at this 6, see how much he's got to work with here. Well, it's fine, but like I say, he's going to have to play this 7 ball from distance. Well, he's managing to run it round. I think the pace is pretty good. That's excellent. And the line is good that he's got in this 7 ball as well, because he can just run off the rail, come back across. Anything but dead straight in the 8 ball is what he wants. Well, I think if he just looks at where the 9 ball is and where the pot is in the middle, unless he's prepared to pinch, see, he tried to get greedy, and that's the problem with that shot. You've got to take your medicine. He tried to get greedy there and tried to make an angle that wasn't there, and he may well pay the price for it. He should have just looked at the 9 ball into the middle and stunned that cue ball stone dead and pushed it across the centre of the table. And, well, sometimes you're better just to take what you've got rather than trying to create an awful lot more. And that's the price you pay if Acero can pop this 9 ball in. Well, I mean, I think Popman has had a similar problem I've had, where I've tried to join a challenge room and it's just booted me straight out to my desktop. Well, that's not going to get there, Bedhead. He's dragged through there and not gone through with the shot. So, lost his focus a bit, Bedhead. And again, it's always the problem in alternate break, and that if you do silly mistakes and errors early on and suddenly find yourself 2 and 3 racks behind, then the pressure builds up gradually every rack, where you're going to have to keep trying more and more, and maybe taking more risks to try and get back in the match. You've got to cut out those silly mistakes, because Acero is more than capable. Now this is a toughie, pretty straight, going to have to punch it in, get that cue ball across to the left. And this is, again, if you punch it slightly offline, the 5 ball ain't going in. And he's run the cue ball well. Just a drop in the 6. Let's have a look here. Slight angle. Should be fine. And it should be the first signs of daylight between these two. But self-inflicted damage here for the most part for Bedhead. One error with the shot choice that he played in the last rack, and then that half-hearted shot he played earlier on in this rack, and it's cost him both. That's how easy it is to fall behind. This is how you end up trailing 3-1 early on in the match. Bedhead persists with the break. It worked for him the last time he broke. 7 ball cracking, it's gone in. No shot though. So for any latecomers, we have 2 matches tonight at 7 o'clock British summer time, but an hour before that we have a 1 loss side match at 1800 British summertime. I can't remember who's playing again. Semi-Pro is playing somebody. Let's have a look. What did I say earlier on? Not that match. The match between Semi-Pro and Smoking Sid is at 6 o'clock tonight, and then there's two matches tonight. Mal and Snake Eyes in round 3, and we've also got Mooncake and Spectre Dawn at 7 o'clock. So there's a decision going to have to be made later on tonight as to who we're going to watch or who I'm going to stream. And if any of you guys join me later on, I'm going to leave that up to you. Bedhead again at the table with a tough 3-ball, very tough from the point of view of where the 4 is. But he could run this. Now there is a shot on, and it's a spectacular shot. You run it with inside and you run the cue ball that way, and that's what he's tried, but he's missed the 3. He had the right idea, but it's not easy when you have to put that left-hand English on it to get the cue ball fizzing off the inside of that right rail to send it around those angles. And when it works, it looks good, but you're sending that cue ball offline to the object ball, and that's where that's what caused the miss there. And look at the 5-9. It's not dead set, but it's easily made, that 5-9 combo. And Bedhead needs to put this rack to bed here, Bedhead. And this is a toughie. That 4 ball is tight, but towards the left jaw there's plenty of room. Needs to remember the cue ball though, and that will do, and he should be back to within 1. It's not a difficult combo, we'll give him that. So the break goes back to acero, a slender lead, and the 3 ball goes in, and we've got a problem with the availability of the 6 ball. I mean, I think it can be got at from the right side of the table, but anywhere else it's a no-go area, the 6 ball. And the problem also is once you've potted the 1, what do you do to get to the 2 ball? It's going nowhere fast. So there could be a bit of tactical stuff coming up here, because there's enough room to hide cue balls and stuff here. So that might be what decides this rack, who can get locked up. Possibility of possible 3 fouls as well with the lay of the table. Well, that's a delicate shot, but I mean, this 2 ball will go. It's got room past the 5. He's trying to run it into the middle. Well, that's a good shot. That was very, very narrow margins to get that 2 ball into the middle. Well, this is where he wants to be fairly straight in the 5 if he can help it, because that makes it easier to hold on this 6 ball. Let's have a look at the 6 from this side. Well, that is tight, it has to be said, to actually make the pot in this 6 ball. He's not got much room here at all. Watch for the legal shot here. And this collision with the 7 ball We don't know where that's going to end up. Now, it looks legal enough, and it was. And that is the perfect angle on that 8 ball. Can just drop down to the wider side of the 9. And he's going to be all square. So the mini crisis is over. Back in level terms. And back with the break. That's one that he's stolen off Acero. But nothing certainly looks as if it's going in that one. And there is a start here for Acero. Now, if he drops this in and skims past the 2, he can take the 2 into the opposite middle there. He's just going to have to drop this in dead weight, I think. He's having a look at the space that he's got to work with here, but his narrow margins, but I think he can just run this in, and if he hopes he can just miss the 2, he should have the 2 into the middle. The line the cue ball's taken looks as if it will just go past the 2. Well, he's brushed the 2. He actually hit it a bit heavier than he wanted. Bit too much weight on it. But, in fact, the other thing is he's actually, the 2 ball I think is a bit tight. But I think he can run into the 9 with the cue ball and lock Bedhead up here. He's digging in though. Well, he made a big decision there. He was never going to get in the 3. And now he's given Bedhead a chance. And the 8 and 9. Well, we can see the 8 goes into that middle again. It certainly doesn't go into any pockets at that end of the table, but either the long shot into the corner or into the middle if you can get there. The good thing about where the 7 ball is, if you've got a decent angle from maybe the middle of the table up by the middle pockets, you can cut that 7 in and drop across behind the 8 ball and take it into that right middle pocket. And we'll see if Bedhead has the right idea. Now he needs to stun up the table. I don't know whether he's got much angle to work with. Let's have a look. Oh, he's fine. He needs to go up high enough though. That will do it. Now he's got that choice where he can drop behind the 8 ball if he can get that angle on this 7. Well, I don't know whether he's going to take a risky shot here and try and run into the 8 and 9, but he might still be able to drop behind it. It's all about the weight of the shot here as to whether he can just finish nicely. It needs to keep going. Well, that's sort of in the middle. He's got to make that choice, and it's going to have to be long. That's a good one. And that's a good run out for Bedhead. Because we knew that 8 ball was going to be the issue if you can get there. This is why when you're at the table, you have to be planning ahead. You have to look at where that problem ball is and how you're going to get to it. And if you don't do that in advance, by the time you get to thinking about it, it's far too late half the time for most players. You've got to be on the ball. In the end, that's just another way of how you run racks. You've just got to see the table, see the layout, and get that. Well, that's going to be a ball in hand there. I think Bedhead didn't get. I think he get thin air there on that one ball. Yep. Well, there's another mistake by Bedhead. Got himself into the lead, and he's given Acero a free go. But the pressure's on Acero now. Even though he's only trailing by one, he's got a wide open table and every opportunity here to run out to square the match from yet another unforced error from Bedhead. Well, this is going to be ugly, is it? Oh dear. He can't get there. Well, that's why he didn't just leave it long, I don't know, because that's a percentage shot. You're going to at least be able to pot the two. And that's a ball in hand chance gone out the window pretty much straight away unless he takes this cut on. Well, that's a good recovery, but he's going to need another good recovery because this 3-ball, well, that is a hair's breadth off a frozen to the rail. And this is tough because we know what happens here. This will push to the rail and come off and won't go in, or you'll get it clean like that. That was excellent. He's struggling for shape here, but this is going to be the clincher, this one. Good afternoon to Semi-Pro. Once again, the angle and the weight have got to be good. And this will also be a good rack if Acero can finish the job here and really punish the mistake by Bedhead. And good afternoon to Mal. Now, I've got a dilemma tonight. I was mentioning earlier on. We've got two matches clashing tonight. So I'm going to leave it up to my viewers to decide what one we watch. Because they're both at 7 o'clock. And one has to go. Acero. Now, what does he do here? Does he go forward and around? That's the safest route. And this is a good rack from Acero. And it's a quality run out. Again, the work was done. And Bedhead's paid the price. Got himself into the lead. And then tried the thin edge of the one ball. Got thin air. Gave ball in hand to Acero, who got himself in trouble, but came through it with a good recovery shot in that 2-ball. And another tough shot in that 3 along the top rail there. So it was an excellent run out. Well held together by Acero. And meanwhile, the ball in the break for Bedhead. 4 balls gone. And a toughie on the 1. And the 2 balls not exactly sitting in a perfect position. Well, the weight of this shot looks good to me. That's very well played. And good afternoon to MC Clarkey. McClarkey. Well, I said I expected good quality from these two guys. And apart from these unforced errors, most of them having come from Bedhead, things are shaping up nicely in this match. And really, whenever the balls are lying in the open like this, the job has got to be done. Well, this is gone straight, so once again he can go forward and come out. He wants to get himself pretty straight on this 8 ball if he can. Again, it's about taking your medicine and not trying to work miracles with the cue ball. And Bedhead's paid the price for that earlier on in the match. He wants to get it. You see, again, he's left more of an angle, and that just means that he has to nurse this in a bit more. Unless he wants to punch it right in and get across 2 rails, he just wants to make sure it gets there. That'll do it. So this time, it's a break and run from Bedhead to give him the lead. And the 8 ball goes in for acero, and he's going to have to rescue the situation immediately here with a 1-6 combo to stay at the table. But if he can deal with this situation, and he has done, and we know the 2 ball goes in the gap between the 3 and 4, there's no problem there, he should be out. He's just got a nice little angle. Now again, does he want to nurse this in, or does he want to go across the rail, side rail and across? Now he doesn't want to be nailed to the cushion here. Well, that's just left him a problem, because he's now having to jack up to try and punch it. Again, played it well. Okay, he's in theory the wrong side of the 4, but he's got all the room to deal with this problem. And the 7 goes past the 9, no problem either. So there's been a good last couple of racks here. We've got acero responding to Bedhead's run out. And the break now goes back to Bedhead. All square, 5 racks all. Race to 18. And the break is dry. Now acero choosing to push out. I don't know whether I think he's maybe blocked off by the 9, is he? Yeah, that's the problem. Now, well, that 7 ball where it's sitting, I don't think you can get to that to pot it. I mean, it looks as if there's good room. The problem is, though, with the angle that you get to, you're more than likely just going to punch that to the rail that comes away. Well, Bedhead, if you can see enough of the 1, he should be able to push that 1. Well, he can pot it. Where's the cue ball ended up? Well, that's made sure that the 7 ball isn't going anywhere. Seven ball now tied up. And Bedhead having to kick at the 2, but that will always be the safety net up the top of the table. Well, acero could go off the right hand side of this 2 ball, push the 2 towards the 3 and run the cue ball up towards the 9 here. That would be the shot. But he's gone all out for the cut. And the other one thing to think ahead about here is if acero is going to try and run this table, once that 5 ball's out the way, this 6, if you can get it to there and run the cue ball there, you've got a big target area on that 7 and 8 ball. That is a huge target to hit. And as long as you've got the line, even if you're on this line to the 6 and you pot the 6, you can send a cue ball there and still run into that target area. But he's got a problem here straight away. This 5 ball is by no means easy. And he's going to have to do it from the second option. But I don't know. Let's have a look. The problem is the 9 ball might end up in a way here. He's going to put the English on it to try and get there. Let's see if he can muster up enough. See, the 9 ball's a problem. And I don't know whether he had enough weight on it to do anything anyway. But he can certainly just skim that 7 and run up the table here. Get as far away from it as he can. Well, he's tried to get cute. And now he may well find himself in deep trouble. No, he should have went for distance. And I don't think Bedhead's hit that hard enough either. Got to go for that distance. Get that cue ball down the table here. Acero another opportunity. And again, Bedhead's going to get another go. Thin as you like, but with a bit more pace on it. Got to get it running. Well, that's... Again, he played that with left English to check the cue ball, so that's going to kill the pace. But he's left the 7 on. And that is a poor one from Bedhead. Good afternoon, Potman. That is not a good shot. And look at the cue ball. Well, there's a disaster from Acero. All out for the win, and he's going to pay the price. And that's the first major error, or major bit of bad luck, in all honesty, for Acero. And Bedhead rescues the situation, and the break goes back to Acero. Three ball and 6 ball go in. Now, I think that 5 ball's too far past the middle pocket to slam the 1 onto it and get it into the middle. Looks like it from here. He might try the cross bank. I mean, there's a good bit of room between the 1 and the rail. He could cut that and bank it across. He'll only have 1 go at it though. He's trying to hide this. He needs to get the pace right. Now, I think he's okay. I think Bedhead's going to try and run away from this. Or is he going to try and spin around a 5? Looks as if he is. Well, not an easy shot to execute. But it does give Acero a tough starter here. Oh, it wiped its feet. Not easy, that 1 ball. But Bedhead now, from deep in the pocket, does have a good chance to open this gap again for the 2nd time in the match. Well, you've just got to stop this cue ball. You don't want to let it run away, because that 8 ball will encroach in the line onto that 5. So he's got to make sure he's not running too far. And he's okay. Good angle to just come across for the 7. I think, does the break go back to acero here? I can't remember. I've totally lost track of who's breaking. We'll soon find out though. Oh dear. What time is it? It's about 20 minutes to 2 in the afternoon, and my afternoon nap is right on schedule. This is normally where I'm sat in front of the TV and had a coffee, and I have a nap for about 3/4 of an hour, and my brain's just reminding me that I should be taking my nap right at this point in time. Well, the break has gone back to Bedhead with a 7-5 lead. Couple of balls on the break, and I do believe, although he's going to be really awkward over that 8 ball, if he can just brush. Now this is where you use the W key. You use the W key to step back, but you line the edge of that 1 ball up with the shaft of the cue. And Bedhead is looking around, but that's how you do it. If you jack the cue up so that you're looking at the 1 ball, well, did he call the push out there? I did. Well, I'm surprised that he didn't play the cut in that 1, because it was not a difficult cut if you use the W key, because that's what the W key's there for. Unlike the old VP3, you can't look under the cue, but you can jack the cue up and use the shaft of the cue against the edge of the 1 ball to get your line to hit that edge of the 1. And Bedhead didn't like the look of it, but he could have had that cut in the 1, he would have had a shot in the 2, and he would have had a combo in the 3 and 4. Now surely Bedhead hasn't missed my video on my channel about the W key, or else he would have played that. Well, here we go, because acero now at the table, trailing by 2 on Bedhead's break in this rack, and he's going to have to deal with a 3-4 combo to stay on the tail of Bedhead. Pressure shot here, where that 3 ball is going to stay pretty much in line because it was fairly straight on. And now well, that's a good kiss in the 8. That came in very handy. Well, this is oh no, where's this cue ball going? It needs to slow up. Oh, I think it's just done it in time. I think this is going back to acero now, the break, so that's 1 stolen. And the opportunity, if he can get a ball and a shot, and he ain't getting either. Well, I think bit of a dilemma here for Bedhead as to whether to try and play the edge of the 1 or play the push out. See, if you play the edge of the 1, you're pushing the 1 that way, and you're trying to skim the cue ball around the angles that way. But then you've got to hit it hard enough so that that 1 ball comes off the rail and goes to there. But, well, the push out has been played. Acero's at the table. If he doesn't like it, he can give it back to Bedhead. And Acero's extension has gone. Well, he was so focused on at least holding for some sort of shot in the 2 ball there, he's forgotten about the 1. See, the thing is that he could have played that with a bit more freedom there, because the 4 ball isn't really going anywhere. Where it's sitting, it's locked up by the 8 ball. And this time, where the 4 ball is, there's not really any of the lower number balls adjacent to there to give him a shot. And trying to break out that 4 ball. So it's all going to hinge on the 4 ball, this rack, no matter who's at the table. And Bedhead's took the risk, and he's paid the price. He had the line to run around and try and get into them and still hope he'd a shot in the 3, but he's paid the price big time again. And acero at the table, just gathering his thoughts of how he's going to get this done. Just looking at the lay of the balls, getting that image in his head of how he's going to play this. Which is what you should do every time you come to the table in any situation. Just look at the balls, think of where you're going next, and working out that plan and following the plan. Oh, good afternoon to Vinces. Long time no see. Well, acero needed to get into that a lot more, because now he's left himself high and dry on this 7. And he really should be running for cover here. He should be pushing this up the table and getting distance, but you know what these guys are like. They're going to go all out for it every time. And he's blown it. And the mistake there was not getting dug into that cue ball when he played the 6. Because that just left the cue ball running straight back across the table on such a thin cut in the 7. Making it very difficult. And Bedhead gets a bit at the bottom. And right hand spin on the cue ball just to punch it up into line on that 9. And Bedhead keeps his distance, and he's stolen that one from acero. And now it looks as if there's a drought on again. Dry break. And again, a very difficult starter here. You couldn't ask for anything worse. Chinese snooker over the 9 ball. A fairly straight in 1. And look where the 2 ball is. Now, at worst here, he can go forward. I mean, you just got to go full pelt for this. And try and get over to the top side of the 2. I don't even know whether he's got enough angle to be able to do that. It looks a bit too straight to me. If he misses a 2, that'd be ideal. Well, that is not a bad result. Now, it's got to be across the table twice, obviously. And that 7 ball's in the way here. Unless he goes the right side of the 7 as we look. He's gone inside. He's got the pot. And he's done as best he can to get on that 3. Once again, it's all about avoiding the traffic. If he can avoid a collision here, he should be wide open in this 4 ball. But that 9 ball is close to it. He's gone narrow. He's found a gap between the 7 and the 6. Sorry, the 8 and the 6. And a little kiss on the 7 has squared them up nicely in the 4. Well, it's again a pressure visit for Acero. Trailing by 2. All the balls are now there. Can he get the job done? I see loads of English on that to stop the cue ball running its path that it would normally go over towards the 9. And that 5 is well off the rail. It shouldn't cause any problem. But there's the problem there. And just as Acero was getting himself back to within 1, it's come straight off the rails. And all of a sudden, Bedhead's been given a gift to open the gap to 3 racks. And that might be a bit of a turning point in the match, in the sense that it's going to be the first time that, or was it 4-1 earlier on to Bedhead at the beginning of the match? I'm trying to remember, but anyway, it's going to go to a 3 rack gap no matter what happens, but he's gone dead straight in the 7 as soon as I say that. And this could be a problem. Dead straight. Well, how would you like this for a thin cut? And in it goes. And so now, well, if there's going to be mistakes made now under pressure, it's Acero that's going to be making them, I think, because once you're on that trailing score, like, well, no sooner have I said that than Bedhead's hung the 9. Well, it is taking twists and turns here. It is taking all sorts of twists and turns. I'm jumping the gun thinking it's going to be a 3 rack lead, and now it's back to 1. And Bedhead will be kicking himself. Acero's got the 3 ball, the 6 ball, the 8 ball, but he's got no shot in the 1, but he's gone all out for the bank. I think he's hit it too hard, but he's fluked a ball now. And he's still got a shot in the 1. Well, I'll tell you something. He'll most certainly want to take full advantage of that if he can. He's got this tough cut, but he's surely got to have a shot in the 2 ball. Cue ball's got to be running up the table. As long as it misses the 9 or the 5, he's got to be on to square the match up again. But this is a big, big test. Again, the extension has been used up and he's overcut it, but if you're going to overcut it, that's the best place to overcut it, like that. And now Bedhead is all out for the bank and the cue ball running up for the 2. It's all out for the double bank here, or the single bank, but as long as you hit it hard enough, you'll give it those 2 goes at getting in the hole. Cue ball running around and up the table for the 2. Well, he's trying to get there. The pace is excellent, but it's not excellent enough, is it? It's not got the legs. It's perfect line, but he had to put a bit more juice into it than that. And what's more, he didn't get in the 2. So he failed in both counts here. Well, Acero's gone for the big blast to force the cue ball round for the 2. And we know what happens with these pockets. They just won't go in when you hit them at that pace and you get them offline. They will not go in. They will stay out every time. And Bedhead can steady the ship here. We've had all sorts of things going here, but he can certainly make sure that he keeps that 2-rack gap. Well, the bank's not on for a start, but it's all out for the cut. Well, is he taking the cut on? Well, I didn't think the bank was on, but he tried to squeeze it in there past the 9. I wasn't convinced it was on. I don't know whether he looked at that very much, but I needed a bit more convincing that the line was good to get that bank. But meanwhile, acero back at the table, and well, this could end up being a vital rack in the whole outcome of the match. I mean, this to square the match, if he can get the 5 and get a shot in the 9. And that's well played, and we are all square. It is 8 racks apiece here, and absolutely no clue as to how this match is going to go. But it's going to be something bad or really lucky or unlucky that's always going to decide the outcome of these matches. So Bedhead with the 3 and the 4 ball in the break. And, well, is he trying to just lock it up? He's trying to just tuck it away there. And there's a problem with this shot for acero, in the sense that he can't, the line that he's got here, he can't really stop Bedhead having a shot in the 1 unless he somehow finds cover, but there's not an awful lot of opportunities for cover with the way the balls are lined. He could try a cross bank. I think he sort of half-heartedly tried that, but well, how does that look from Bedhead's side? Well, we can drop it in. Where's the cue ball ended up though? Well, he's okay. Well, that shot by acero there, I'm not sure what he really tried. With the weight that he played, he may have tried to get the 1 onto the rail on the opposite side there. But if that was the case, he's overhit it slightly and given Bedhead the chance to regain the lead here. Let's have a look at that. Well, dead straight, and this is going to be a troublesome shot. It's all about the weight, and he's left the Bedhead cut. Can he drag it in and hold for the 7? Has he got a? Can he just roll it in dead weight? And that will do. That's perfect. Once again, up into the table and leave that angle on the 8 so it's easy to get out for the 9. Well, we've been going for just about an hour and 2 minutes, and we've got Bedhead getting himself back into the lead. Acero not letting him get away, and acero gets a ball in the break, but absolutely no joy, locked up behind the 8. But an important decision here, because the push out that he plays, he does not want to leave himself on the right hand side of the table with the push out, because that 8 ball is very handy to tuck the cue ball away behind. And if he goes down the table here, Bedhead can do a similar thing. Let's have a look and see what he's got. Well, he can be brave enough and try and just drop the cue ball in behind the 8 here. It's a delicate little shot, but it is on. He's putting a wee, I think he's putting a wee tad of English on it, just to run to the rail and spin towards the 8. Now he's looking at doing something else. Reverse bank. Reverse bank it is. But, well, I think he can certainly avoid the 6. But the 3 isn't going. Not from that side it ain't. And if he tries to come around to the short side of the 3, he's going to run into the 6. Can he spin enough off this and avoid the 6? Well, he's brushed the 6, and that's scuppered that chance. Had he not hit in the 6 there, he might have been able to get around in the short side. But see, the closer you look at this 3, and when you look at it from that angle, it will go in off the jaw. It is very tight. Very tight, but it will go in. Well, he's played the combo, and that's a good shot. But once again, when you play that at that pace, you've no idea where the next ball's going to be played from. And it's another extremely thin cut in the 3 to this bottom right. And he's undercut it. And acero is going to come to the table with a similar problem. And his problem is that if he plays the cut, he's going to go desperately near that 6 ball, and he'll have a very thin cut on the 5 ball to do something with it. Well, he's dragged it in, and this is a problem. The cut down the rail, but look at what he's done to the 6 ball though. He's nudged the 6 ball to 3 or 4 millimetres off that rail. That needs to keep running. Well, he's got a chance. He's got to get it flush, and he's got to be on the 8 ball. Oh, he hasn't hit it. And this is what I'm saying, even though it was a couple of millimetres off the rail, he's tried to pick the point to get it flush. And if anything, that's probably the best result there, because he's left it very tough for Bedhead as well. But Bedhead has picked it, he's actually picked it flush. And that is a beautiful little shot in the 6. And it's going to be stolen by Bedhead here. Just as acero was looking at getting the match back all square, he's back to square 1. He's trailing by 2 again for about the 5th time in the match. Well, this time the break has worked for Bedhead. The 8 ball has gone. He's got a good starter on the 1 ball. A nice angle to run to the side rail. And beyond that, 2, 3 balls out in its own on the right hand side. And, well, the problem ball's the 4. It's just in an awkward spot. Hampered by the 5, hampered by the 6. But if he gets himself right across this side, he's got loads of room to run it down the table. And again, it's about just taking your medicine. Just cut that 3 in, 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 and try and get it reasonably straight on this 4 ball, meaning that you don't have to do an awful lot more with the cue ball to get on the 5. Well, if he's taking this long, the danger with that is he's going very close to the middle pocket. He's looking at cutting into the middle. And that is a good shot. That was well played, well controlled. Again, he has a choice. He can run around the corner behind the 9 and the 6 and come right out into the table again, or just run short. Well, he's going to leave it long. It's another tester, this one. But he's played it well and he's held it well. Is this going to seal the deal in a 3-rack lead? Well, he's just overcooked that as well. But comfortably in on the 9. And now Acero needs some assistance. He's now trailing with 3. The breaks with Bedhead. But the break, sorry, not Bedhead. Breaks with Acero, but the break is dry. And Bedhead's looking for where he's going to push. Well, this is it's awkward because that 4 ball will stop the 1 ball going away too far if you try and run down to this corner where the 3 and the 5 is with the cue ball. So it puts the onus on getting cover behind this cluster of balls down here if he's going that way. Is that going to hold the pace? Yes, it is. And he's now opened up that 1 and 4. The 2 balls going nowhere quick where it is. But Bedhead's got to negotiate this first of all. Oh, that's a cracking shot. The spin doing the trick there. And it's got Acero in trouble. And it was very narrow. Not much room to create any sort of angle to get to that 1 ball. But with ball in hand, Bedhead can just hold the cue ball for the 2 or into this bottom right hand corner or into the middle, whatever he's happy with. And once he's dealt with the 2 ball, everything else should be plain sailing. Well, no sooner have I said that than he's got himself in trouble here. He's going to have to leave the long cut in this 4 ball. Well, again, the safest shot is just to drop it in and leave the 5 awkward down the rail. Stay up the top end of the table. That way you're not trying to do any miracle shots with the cue ball. And it's got to be across the table twice here. I mean, what does he do? I mean, it's such a narrow margin to get to this 6 ball. If he comes this side, he's going to have a narrow margin to get the cut in the 6. And he's held it, but he's ended up pretty straight. Now, he had a shot like this earlier on in the match where he tried to punch it and create an angle, and he missed the pot. And that was really all he could do. So it's another testy 7-ball. I'll tell you, if he can get this and get on the 8, he's going to have a 4-rack lead, and that is a tall order for Acero. I mean, Acero's now at the stage. If he's going to be trailing before, he's at no miss on all his visits. He cannot afford mistakes. Once again, left-hand English is going to be to the 4 here, just to straighten this cue ball off the side rail and hold a line that's going to give him the cut in the 9. Well, he's letting it run up to his old Bedhead cut. Could have checked it there, but quite happy to take the cut with the 9 ball being off the rail. And in it goes. And it's now broad daylight between Bedhead and Acero. A 4-rack lead. Bedhead's break gives him a couple of balls, but he's getting no luck to back it up with his next shot. But he can certainly have Acero in again a heap of trouble here if he plays this right on this 1 ball. Well, has he got cover? No, he hasn't. And what's more, Acero can pot the 1, and he can put Bedhead in a whole lot of trouble in a second or two. And there's a strong possibility here that, again, the 3 fouls could be on if Acero gets this right. Because where the 3, well, he's gone for the bank. I thought the pot was on. The pot looked odd to me. But it's still a better likelihood of going for 3 fouls the way these balls are lying, because if you pot the 1, you're not potting the 2, and you're certainly not getting the 3 where it's sitting. And well, Bedhead's not got an awful lot of room for manoeuvre here either with this shot. Yeah, just using the 6. And the 3 balls even tighter locked up. So Acero doesn't want to be hitting it and opening these out. Well, there's no value in potting this 2, because you've not got much room to get to the 3, and Bedhead has fallen straight into the trap. Why he had to pot it, I don't know, because now he's having to kick. Well, that now turns the tables in this rack. It opens it up. The 3 balls no longer tied up, so now Acero has to be very careful. And he has to, well, the least thing that needs to happen is he needs to win the safety battle here if he's going to try and stay in touch with Bedhead. Well, he's got to get this feathered thin. Bedhead can try and thin this to the rail. He could try and use the 6 ball as cover here, just get distance in the cue ball. But he hasn't got there. And, well, this is a pressure visit because acero is on the 3. It's awkward to get good in the 4. He's going to have to dig into this. Well, he wasn't prepared to take the risk, but now he's left himself in even more pressure situation. This is a tough 4. And how tight is the 5? Because he's going to have to punch this in as well, I think, or go across the table twice. This is very tight to the rail. That's frozen to the rail. But that was an excellent shot on that 5 ball. That was very tough. And he's done extremely well there to rescue that rack. But he's still trailing by 3, and he's on his break. And nothing's gone in. But for acero's sake, he's not left anything on for Bedhead. 6 ball in the 9. They are tied up. And now we're going to get a little bit of nip and tuck and tactical stuff. And that is a good one. And it's good from the point of view that Bedhead can certainly jack up, and as long as you play this soft enough, the spin will work, and you can certainly chip the 1 ball. And that may well go in. It's not going to give him much of an advantage because he's hooked in the 2. But again, the safety net is a 6 and 9. They're not going anywhere. The 9's not set to the middle pocket. That's what's going to clinch the rack. But Bedhead has played a good kick safe and immediately has turned the tables on acero. Well, whatever he does, he just has to make sure that he doesn't hit this so hard that a ball's going to roll towards this 6 and 9. He has to leave them sitting as they are. Well, Bedhead is going to get the reward. He's got ball in hand from the good safety. And now he's already thinking about how he's going to deal with this 6 and 9. And if you look at the 5 ball, well, the 5 ball is in good shape. If you can get sort of here on the 5 ball, you've got a line to go that way to split them. If you get here on the 5 ball, you've got a line to go there and split them. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the line he's going to leave on this 5 ball to come around the angles. That would be the more conventional shot if he ended up somewhere like that. Just to run around somewhere along that line. Not quite as much as that. Well, he's took the risk there, big time. And, well, unbelievable. he's took the risk to break out the 5. Oh, sorry, the 6. It's ended up in a combo with the 5 itself, and he's got a tough shot in the 4, and he doesn't have to do anything. I think he might have to cut across this slightly. He needs to look at the gap that's between that 5 and 6 to send that way slightly. There is a gap. He's got to be careful. Played that well. it's going to get there. Well, Bedhead now is heading for a comfortable lead in this match. It looks as if it's beginning to drift away for Acero. He needs something to happen for him, and he needs the assistance of his opponent, and that's never a good thing in alternate break. A 6 ball's going to go in off that middle knuckle, up the rail into the top left. Now, can he see enough of the one? Yes, he can, but he's going to have to dig right into this 1 ball to get anywhere near the 2. Well, is Acero going to get a chance? And yes, he is. Again, not an easy starter. He's got to just hold the cue ball. He's just got to jab this in. But he's not picked a line, and maybe he took that a bit too quick there. I don't think he really set himself up to play that. He should have taken that wee bit longer. Okay, he was still on the 3, but I think he rushed it slightly, that 2 ball. I'm just looking at the time. It's 24 minutes past 10 at night in Tokyo. So, you know, it's getting late there. And maybe there's a few signs of wear and tear from Acero. But it's a long way back now. This is another tough shot in the 3. Well, it's just drifting away for Acero. And that tough shot in the 3 has brought out the mistake from Bedhead, and immediately, as I said earlier, Acero's coming to the table. He's got a chance, and it's the point now where he can't miss. Whenever he's given a chance, he can't miss. He can't make the mistake, and he's beginning to run out of racks as well. That's the other problem. Well, we'll give him this one to get to double figures. That maybe makes the score look a bit better for him. He's still going to be trailing by 3. Again, I've forgotten who the break goes to. Well, it stays with Acero. And again, when he needs that a bit of a helping hand from the break, he gets nothing. Is that going to hold? Is it going to hold? It just held. Looking ahead, Bedhead he would much rather be on the middle of the table side of this 4-ball, I think, to allow him to get into the gap between the 9 and the 7. Well, he can still get there. He can still get there. He's got to get a hold of this cue ball, though, to be able to take the 5 down the rail here. And that will do nicely. Well, Bedhead, the good thing for Bedhead, that Bedhead's made most of his errors that he has made early on in the match, and it's not caused any problems. And he's now, well, pretty much odds-on favourite to open that. Well, no, again, the commentator's curse has done it again. He's missed the 7, thinking about getting into that 8-ball. And Acero's got a very slim lifeline here. Very, very tough shot either way in this 7, whatever he plans to do with it. You've got to go all out. The worst thing that can happen here, he's still going to end up hooked on the 8, but it is a very tough cut trying to read that line. Oh, he's played it well. How's his luck for position? That is not bad either. And he's just got to push through with this to bring the cue ball out. Well, this will be a bonus for Acero. Big, big bonus here. And no sooner have I said about Bedhead's unforced errors happening early on, he's thrown out a clanger there when he was pretty much home and dry in the rack, and he's thrown it back to Acero, who's duly obliged and stole the rack, but the break is back with Bedhead. And we've lost the 4 and the 7, and he's got a shot in the 1, the 2's over the middle. He's got to be out here. Acero back to within 2, but again, the odds are stacked firmly in favour of Bedhead here. Well, I'm knackered, so if, in terms of being okay, yeah, I'm okay, but I'm knackered. Well, he's going to retrieve the situation here, I think, Bedhead. Got to get that nice little angle in this 7, and it has to be a comfortable angle that he can make a decent pot in this, not the 7, the 8-ball. Well, is there still going to be a twist or a turn in this match? It's looking less likely. Bedhead is 4 away. He's got a 3-rack lead. But Acero, well, that kick on the 2-ball there on the 1 has just done him big time. Acero's got the 3-ball has gone, the 6 and 7 have gone, and that 2-ball's nudged the 1 and put it out of play. And Acero needs the breaks. He needs to get that running. The balls have to run for him. I mean, he's had a nice break there. 3 balls in the break. The 1 ball was in play until the 2-ball brushed on it and pushed it safe. Well, he's played the push out. Now, does Bedhead fancy this push out, or does he want to give it back to Acero? Is that 8-ball a bank up the table? Again, a good shot by Bedhead. That is extremely nasty from the point of view that that's all that Acero can see of the 1. A cigarette paper's edge on the 1 ball land. He's played the billiard on the 9. Well, what a bonus that was. I'm pretty certain he played it. Well, that is maybe that little break that he needs. He's back to within 2, but the break is back with Bedhead, and that's the frustrating thing about this format. Oh dear, Bedhead's done another one. Unbelievable. And this time he's left the 1 on, and the 2's on, and the 3's difficult. But Bedhead, he wants to steady the ship here. He's on a very unsteady position, even though he's got a 2-rack lead. Well, what's happened here? I thought he was going to get really unlucky there, but he has got himself in the best position to have a shot in this 3. And Acero will be getting all the encouragement he needs from these mistakes by Bedhead. He's had some shaky shots early in the match, and now it's getting towards the business end. He's getting careless again, and you don't want to be doing that and throwing away a lead like he's looking to do here, because Acero is going to do his damnedest to drive home the punishment if he can take this rack out and get back to within 1. And as I said, you can't do anything without the assistance of your opponent with alternate break. You have to have them making the mistakes, and well, if it keeps taking this line, it's fallen into shape here for Acero. But he's at the point where he can't make mistakes. He has to pot everything that he can see. Any shot he takes on, he has to deliver, because he cannot be an architect or a participant in his own downfall. Bedhead's got the lead. It's up to him to preserve that and protect that lead. All Acero can do is chase him down. Oh dear. Well, that 9 ball looked in the pocket and then finally decided to drop. Acero's got the break, but I don't think he's hitting these hard enough. Nothing's gone. But he's left a shot for Bedhead in the 1, albeit a tricky angle. He's looking more like he likes the billiard onto the 6. And the 1 ball has stayed in play. And this will be a sore one as well for Acero, if Bedhead can follow through in this one. Well, this is going to be ugly as well. It is a tester on the 2 ball. The line that he's got in the 2 ball and the angle, he's got to work this cue ball to have a shot in the 3. I think he's gone too far. He's gone too far. He's gone square. And he's got to hit this and make sure of the pot. And he's missed it. And, well, Acero can go thin off the right side of this 3 and head up into the jungle, up towards the 7 and 8 ball here. He needs to get this nice and thin, but he has to get the pace on it. He's got to get this. If it doesn't go up past the 7, then it's not a good shot. And that will do. Distance is always a good thing, because it means that the incoming player's got to find that edge, and it's always a test. You see, he's got that too thick, and that's got a reward there for acero. Now, is he going to get a bit of help off this 9-ball? Because I don't think he can avoid it. There is enough room to get behind it, but he might chip it. But he has to hit it at such a pace that he can give himself the best chance of still being able to see this 4-ball. Well, he's gone for the bank to avoid it at all costs, and it's worked out. Well, he needs to. I think he can run this around, or can he? Does he want to draw off it? He might. Oh, that shot I didn't like. That shot I did not like. But again, he's got away with it. I think he was worried about the 9-ball there, and he tried to impart the English and the cue ball to avoid it, but that's what caused him to miss the pot. And Bedhead running for cover, and that is going to be the one that decides the right here and now, because the 5-ball's over the middle. Acero has got a line to hit this 4-ball, but he's going to need an awful lot of luck to stop Bedhead having a shot. Oh, I think he's maybe played a cracker there. Where's the 4-ball going? Oh, it hasn't gone far enough. I thought it was going to end up behind the 7. But Bedhead can pot it. And he has to run the cue ball unless he wants to leave it on the right side rail at the top of the 5. Now, he's done the right thing. Well, that may well be another turning point there. It could have been all square, but Bedhead looks as if he's going to keep acero at arm's length by opening the gap to 2 again, and he's only going to be 3 away from round 4. And it looks all too easy, this. Anything but finishing right in the bottom rail. So it should be fairly comfortable shot here for Bedhead. And in goes the 9. And Bedhead's lead goes to 2. It's 15 racks to 13. And the break is back with Bedhead. The rack's fairly straight looking. How's acero's luck? Because Bedhead's come up dry. They're all on. Wide open. And it's a must. Oh, now he's got to make sure he can see the 3, and that 9-ball is in the way. He needs to avoid it. If you're not sure, you've got to stun it hard enough to make sure the cue ball's going through, and he's okay. He's got the room, he's found the gap, and he's ended up dead straight. Oh, he's absolutely plumb straight on this 3-ball. There's nothing much he can do. He can try and tweak an angle, and he's got to punch it and try and spin this. He could scratch here if he's not too careful. It is dead straight, and he's not got enough time to really think about what he's going to do here. He's now lost his extension, and this is the problem with the shot clock. In a shot like this, you need to have it clear in your head what you're doing. He's going to have to leave it awkward. And he hasn't got there. Or has he? I think he has got there. He can just get there. But the 5-ball is awkward, and he's dead straight in the 4. I mean, he can only roll the 4 in. And the best he can do is push on to the 9. He can lock Bedhead up. But he's trying to create a shot here, and he can still play the lock-up. That is a shot. He's got to play the lock up and got to be brave enough to go for it. But he's looking at, I don't think he sees that. He's just looking at the pot. He's looking to take it out. What a shot. That is a cracking pot in that 5-ball. He's going all out to win this rack, and that is brave. But he's got to follow it through. He's got to get it done, and it ain't done yet. Nine ball, smack bang in the middle of the table. All the room in the world to get a decent shot on it. The pace is good, the line is perfect, and he's going to be back to within one. And that was an excellent rack, an excellent run out under pressure from acero, stolen the rack from Bedhead, and with the break, and a 6-ball in the break. And don't forget, Bedhead's break there was dry and left acero in the 1, and he's ran out. And now Bedhead is watching acero with a wide open table, a shot in the 1, and looking very strong odds that he's going to square the match here. If he takes his time, whatever time he's got, to get it done and see it through. Oh, this needs to come out. Now that's neither here nor there. I don't know whether he was trying to get in the bottom side of the 3 to take it into the middle, but he can still take it into the middle. But it is a thin cut, and what's more, the 4 doesn't go long past the 9. And he's got to then avoid the 7 and avoid the scratch as well. And has he hit it enough? No, he hasn't. But look at where the cue ball's gone. And Bedhead can't get at it. He's going to have to, I think he's going to have to check this, but it's right on the point. If he tried to hit next to the 5, he's right on the point of the pocket to try and maybe run it onto there and try and straighten the line, but he thinks he can squeeze past the 9. Oh, that's a great shot. How's his luck? The spin needs to keep working. Well, this match is now on a bit of a knife edge, but it looks like Bedhead's going to chance again to keep the gap. And that may well be a vital rack that has gone south for acero. We were looking very strong. Well, where's this going to end up? Very strong that it was going to be all square, and Bedhead's now got a big test. Well, it's off the rail, but he's got to hit it with the pace to get it to cut. And it ain't gone, and acero lives again. And that Bedhead cut this time, it didn't work. He didn't get the pace in it. And acero has got to get a bit of control, and that control is perfect. Not easy to judge the pace coming out from those balls that are deep in the pocket. And we are definitely going to be all square. And now it's anybody's. And is acero going to find a way to get into the lead at the right time? And once again Bedhead has broke, but the break is dry, and once again acero, it is deja vu. He's at the table and all the balls are on. The only dodgy one is a 7, and that is a big problem because it's close to the rail, but it does go past the 8. But you've got to get good on it if you're going to take it up the top side. But we ain't at that stage yet. He's got problems to deal with here. He's got to pot this too, and try and keep that cue ball dug in to get out for the 3. Well, he's tried to be cute there, and now he's created a problem. He's hooked. I don't know why he didn't get a lot of draw in that and try and stun it. There was a risk of the scratch, but I think he had to do everything at all costs to try and get the cue ball in play there. And he was relying on a bit of luck, and he ain't getting it. Oh, where's the 3 ball going? Unbelievable. What a kick. Well, he'll be happy he got the kick, but even more happy that the 3 balls get in. Well, that could swing the match, that shot right there. Breaks like that, when you get that little bit of running, it's all you need to maybe swing the match in your favour. But he's still got to deal with that 7 ball. That 7 ball is still partially a lifeline for Bedhead. It's not a gimme. It's tight past that 8 ball. Well, it's going to have to be played long. He's going to try and rest the cue ball to the rail on the right side and give him as good a line as he can to squeeze this 7 ball. Because he doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball to go on the 8. He just needs to roll the 7 in. But he might have to just stun it in past that 8, which again makes the shot more difficult. And he's missed the 6. I don't know what the hell he was trying there. But, you know, if you look at the 7, it goes past the 8 every day of the week. It will go past. Why is he trying to get there on the 7? Because it was not a good bank. And Bedhead's going to show him how to do it. This is exactly where acero should have been. It will go. It is tight. You've got to keep it tight though. It will go past the 8. And there you go. And that is a big, big blunder and a big shot choice mistake by acero right there. He has just blown himself out of the water with that shot. That is just amazing that he tried to run this cue ball around the table to a point that was not going to give him much of a shot. A half chance at a bank at the best. And that's the worst shot he's played today. And that is a major, major mistake because it's cost him big time. He sold the rack there to Bedhead. Bedhead did exactly what acero should have done. He showed him how to play the shot, got it onto the rail, rolled it past the 8, and it is a big blunder. I mean, I would love to be able to speak Japanese and ask acero what the hell he saw with that shot. Why he didn't see getting good on the rail to push this 7 past the 8 and try something daft to get onto the 6 ball. I don't know. And acero, with the break, has got a ball but no shot. And he's going to be in trouble here in a minute because Bedhead's going to tuck this behind the 7. He's going to bank that 1 up the table and tuck the cue ball away if he can. And that is not... Well, he's tucking it in behind the 8, which is even better. And that's... Acero's sold the match right there with the last 2 shots. The push out was poor. And he's now locked up. And the table is wide open. Well, he got the bonus in the last rack by kicking and fluking the ball and then throwing the rack away. But now he's in deep trouble. He is hanging on by a thread. Again, he's got the kick. How's his luck? Well, it ain't doing him any favours because Bedhead now has a chance to get to the hill with ball in hand. Well, I can only think that acero didn't fancy this the 7 ball going past the 8. That's the only thing I can think of. Did he look at it close enough to see that it would go? Did he not think he could get there to the rail?
to be able to play it. I mean, but even so, even if that was going through his head, why the hell he ran the cue ball around the table, I still don't know. He was never going to have a shot in the 6. Just incredible how players seem to find a way to get themselves right in the mire when the table's at their mercy. And Bedhead is holding it together to get to the hill. We'll have a look at the bracket after this is finished. Well, that was not the shot. The shot was exactly how Bedhead played it. Get the cue ball to the rail. Bedhead saw, not Bedhead, acero saw something totally different from what the most obvious thing was to do. And it's cost him, and I think it's cost him the match. Bedhead now 2 up with 3 to play. Oh dear, he's scratched on the break. And he's got a multitude of balls in the break. But one of them's a cue ball. And acero, this is his final chance, I think. He's going to have the break in the next rack. But he's going to have to run this one first. And it could be a final rack decider. There's every chance it could be. But acero's going to need to finish the job here, and he needs a ball and a shot. And if ever you need a ball and a shot, acero's the man that needs it. Well, this is a tester. It's got to be all out, pot the 5, run behind the 7, the 6 and the 8, and take the 6 into the top right hand corner pocket. He's got to make sure he hits it enough though. And he's played it well. And the further the cue ball goes away from the 6, the easier the 6 ball is in this case, because it can just stun it in and kill the cue ball or draw off it slightly. And that's why he's missed the 6. It was always going to be difficult. They're not easy. And that is it. It's gone. Right on that shot. He had to make sure he dug into the cue ball to come back into play for the 7. And when you're playing those stuns with a little bit of draw, you can push it to the jaws. And the pace will rattle it and hang it. And it's match over. And Bedhead will breathe a sigh of relief. Acero will be scratching his head a bit, because if he looks back at the match, I don't know whether he ever will do, but it's beyond me as to why he saw that run out the way he saw it, and it cost him the match. In the end, Bedhead wins by 3 racks, 18 racks to 15, and he marches on. And acero, well, he's got time to think about his next one-loss side match. So that's this afternoon's match over. Quick look at the bracket, just to make sure we know where we're going, because later on today at 6 o'clock British Summer Time, that's in 3 hours time, the match that we have coming up first is the match between Semi-Pro and Smoking Sid. And then we have the problem at 7 o'clock tonight, because at 7 o'clock tonight we've got a third round match between Mal and Snake Eyes, and we've also got the match between is it Mooncake and Spectre Dawn, both of them kicking off at the same time. Both of them are third round matches, race to 18, and I'll let you guys decide what match we want to watch. Until then, there's also another match at I think there's a match just starting now. Where the hell is it? Oh no, it's starting in an hour's time. between Jover and Christian. But I'll be getting my dinner at that time, so until then, it'll give me a couple of hours to have a break. So guys, thank you for your company. Thanks for joining. I hope you can join us later on tonight. Good luck to Semi-Pro. Good luck to the rest of the guys. Good luck to Mal if he's still there. We'll let you guys decide what we're going to watch when we come down to the 7 o'clock hour. But we're going to have to watch the Semi-Pro match with Smoke and Sid first. So it'll probably take over an hour for their match to finish anyway. So, and then both of these other matches will be underway. So whatever match looks fairly close, we'll probably jump into that one. So until then, we'll see you later, guys. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you again soon. I'm off for a break. Thanks for joining. Take care.